You've got to go a long way back to see where Watford last scored five, eh, Aaron?
Yeah, yeah. I think if I correct me if I'm wrong, it was actually away at Goodison Park, and I was there. It's one of the best aways I've ever been to.
I was hoping you weren't going to mention that. And welcome back to the Watford view. We're talking all things Watford. This is the happiest I've seen you. I mean, okay, it's to talk us through. Were Watford that good? Were Rotherham that bad, or a combination of it?
I would, yeah, combination of it. I think I've mentioned previously on the podcast, pretty before the Birmingham game, we do struggle with teams that sit back. However, Rotherham's version of sitting back is a lot different to other teams, it seems. They generally offered absolutely nothing. It was, I mean, apologies to the Rotherham voice on here, but it is the worst thing I've seen at Vicarage Road in a long, long time. But you can only beat what's in front of you. And we did more than beat them.
Absolutely, and this is now this mini run is now extending now. It's 6 games now.
Mm-hmm.
6 games unbeaten, scoring for fun, clean sheets as well that we've spoke about before, and just talk about Rajovic because he's now making the right sort of headlines.
Yeah. Again, a player I've previously mentioned on here. He's had it was a Jekyll and Hyde start, really. Look, Rajovic, he has his strength. Everyone knows his strength. He has his strengths. If you put the ball within the 6-yard box to the penalty spot, he is going to score. If you put the ball in that area on his foot, on his head, he will get the ball into the net. And that was it against Rotherham. In the first half, we scored 2 goals off of quick transitions and balls into the box. We don't do enough of it. We've tried to play this slow build-up possession football like sort of you'd see from Arsenal and stuff, but we haven't really got the squad for it. The minute we get back into these quick transitions and getting the ball into the area rather than trying to work a golden opportunity all the time, we get goals. And I'm hoping that Rotherham game sort of put that idea in the coach's mind and we can start playing that style of football more, because it's not necessarily there's no correct way to play football, but you play the way to suit your squad, and that's what suits our team.
Yeah, I mean, let me just ask you directly: would you take 11th place right now?
Yes, I think you should offer me at the start of the season. I would have took it. Yeah, I am of the opinion right now. Obviously, this is disregarding the things that happened in January. This team right now, even if they were to miraculously get the playoffs and win the playoffs, they're not in a good position to make a push of staying in the Premier League next season. We would just come straight back down again. This team needs some stability and some seasons getting to know each other and getting the style of play right. That's why they've given Valérien Ismaël the extension already. They obviously have faith in him. I think the results now, this run, I think is reason to have faith in him. And it is time to stray away from trying to get instant success all the time and let's actually build something.
Yeah, it's only a month ago or so we were over that, but we were talking about Watford potentially being dragged into the relegation battle. There's no signs of that now. The team that you're watching, it's far better than any team in the bottom 6, isn't it?
I would like to think so. I'd like to think that they're. This championship's crazy, and there's a really long way to go yet. You don't know what's going to happen, but I would like to think there'll be enough teams worse than us that we wouldn't have to deal with that. But you're quite right in that. Even at the start of the season, it was in the back of some fans' minds that it could happen, and it could still happen. But with the trajectory we're on at the minute, we're looking all right. And the run's great, but I'm still of the opinion that we need bodies in January, and I hope they come.
Yeah, I was going to come on to that. We were now a third of the way through the season. What we like to at this point is look back at the summer and really kind of give a grading to those players that you got. Now, it wasn't a busy summer for Watford,
No.
either in the permanent or the loan signing. How do you feel overall the business that you did has now played out?
I still think it would have been nice to do more. But actually looking at the signings, Rajovic, obviously in this run, has started to come good. I hope he'll continue to do that, and that will prove to be a decent signing. Chat for Tadzu, not really seen much. Again, he's on fire on the international stage for Georgia. So I'm hoping that will translate to some club form eventually. Mateus Martins is a totally different player to the one we saw at the end of last season, coming back on loan. There's rumours that will be made permanent in January and that we will let Udinese keep Joao Ferreira. I mean, we're always doing deals with them, obviously, with the ownership. I'm glad that one's going permanent. I think Martins is even in the long run would be worth more money to us anyway. And then the biggest surprise, honestly, is Jake Livermore. He is the unsung hero of this run. I was scathing of my opinion of Jake Livermore when we brought him in. I was like, what on earth are they doing? But he has well proved me wrong. He's been phenomenal in front of the defence, and I hope I don't jinx him saying that, but long may it continue.
Yeah, I think there's a few West Brom fans looking at some of his performances thinking, crikey, where's this looks a different player to the Jake Livermore we had. Okay. Leicester then this weekend. Are you playing them at a good time?
Potentially, but I always look at this sort of game as sort of if we get something, it's amazing. When I look at the fixture at the start of the season, I look at Leicester away, I look at Southampton away, I look at Leeds away, and those three in particular, obviously with being the new demoted teams. Look, 9 times out of 10 will probably lose there. There's no pressure on them really to get a result. Obviously, we'd like to continue the run, but no one's really going to give a scathing opinion of them if they do lose. I think they should go out there with no pressure, try and, like I said, play high tempo on the break and get the ball in the box and see if you can cause them trouble, because other teams have caused them trouble recently.
Before I get a score prediction, I just wanted to ask you, every time I see this fixture, I'm reminded of that most remarkable playoff game between these two sides, and I don't think you'll ever see a passage of play like the penalty save and then Deeney scoring. What are your memories of that, and can you just try and tell us how that felt?
Probably have the worst story of a Watford fan for this, because for context, I live in the East Midlands. Leicester is actually the closest ground in the league to my house. It's half an hour away. So my mum goes to me, we're going to go to one of the playoff games. We couldn't get tickets to both of them. We were going to go to one of them. And she picked the away one that we lost 1-0. And therefore, I was robbed of seeing that moment live in the flesh. Obviously, it's still amazing. It still gives me goosebumps. It was amazing following it on the telly. But it is one of the biggest grudges I hold against my mother, that I never got to see that live.
It was one of those "where were you" moments when that went in. Yeah, incredible. Well, so you get a few moments like that this weekend. Score prediction. Then you're going to the Foxes. How are you going to fare?
Yep, I am. I've been to Leicester watching. I've seen Watford there 7 times, and I've seen them play West Ham. My dad's a big West Ham fan there once. I've seen Leicester win every single time. So my record going to this one is shocking. But I'm going to be optimistic and say this is the first time I see the team I'm going there to watch get points, and I'm going to say we draw 1-1.
Oh, yeah, if you watch our predictions video, that's exactly what I went for as well. I think, I think you're going to go there and get something. They're a little bit out of sorts at the moment, and I think people have just worked out how to play against them. So hopefully so have Watford. Good luck. Cheers for joining us, Aaron. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah, cheers, Mark. See you next week.